Greetings and welcome.
Hey y'all, Jason here. Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography. We love you, Scott the Waz.
You did the thing. You was you.
Ah,
Wazoo.
yeah. I see if I do something different, it throws off my whole intro. So I'm Jason. With me's Tim, Colquitt. We're talking biz today. We're talking social dancing. Give us a like, subscribe if you like this content. Biz, come on the show. We'd love to interview you. We'd stay up to however late the time zone difference is. We got questions.
An early morning thing.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Let's just jump right in because we're talking about social dancing, and then we're gonna cover music for Stranger World.
Right on.
We're not
Well,
ranking music, but we're gonna talk about it. Colquitt
Yeah.
said it's a notable release, so
I think so, but I'm a fan, so I don't. I'm a little biased. I think probably. I don't even remember how I found out this record was coming out. I think there was actually I had a subscription to Rolling Stone at the time, and I think they reviewed it, and I was like, oh, there's a new record. And then I went up to Baysound. I went to Baysound for this one, and I asked if they knew when it was coming out, and they were like, actually, we just got it today, so here. And I bought it and got in my car and was a happy camper.
Nice.
This came out around my senior year of high school, so it was in my car stereo all the time. It was like this and Machina by Pumpkins at the time. I think it was like those two records all the time. But yeah, man, it's definitely like in the actual liner notes. There's a little from the band to the fans kind of like paragraph in there where they explain that they probably realize they're not making their fans happy with this new direction because it's definitely more polished, more put together, more produced, and a little bit more pop oriented and less punky, I guess, at times. But I loved it very much, so it didn't bother me at all. And I think they might have lost a few fans, but I think Euro Disco is actually their biggest hit. So I don't actually know how it went over in the UK. So Steve, Amanda, if you want to come talk to us about how that was, that would be cool. Because I have no idea what that was like for y'all. Because I just had this record. I didn't even have good enough internet at that point to watch the videos for the singles they had over in the UK. For me, it was just like I had this record and I loved it, and that was it.
like 1999. I think if they would have put out the album after this in 1999, they probably would have taken off in the U.S.
Yeah,
I don't think Social Dancing was the right record for 1999.
it sounds very much like 1999 to me, honestly.
Well, you were listening to it in 1999.
Yeah, I was listening to it in 99, so maybe that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, Beck's Midnight Vultures sounds like 1999 to me.
Oh
But,
God, that was the same year. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound 1999 to me, although I could hear it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good album. I not knowing the little blurb in the liner notes, which I think is a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely feels more polished than the first album. It feels a little less chaotic, like maybe a little more focused,
Yeah.
but I think it benefits from it.
Same.
I think this is a pretty solid album. And without giving away any spoilers, I think my top song comes from this album.
Nice.
I have a top song from this album.
I've got a couple,
Yeah.
but I think number one's coming from here.
Right on.
Ooh.
Right on.
Um,
I think this is the first time they worked with an outside producer and in a formal studio as well. I think the drum sounds are better sampled than the original ones they were using previously. So that adds to the kind of focus and cohesion, I suppose, more so than the chaos, I guess, as well.
well, and learning that it's all programmed drums. The programming on all of these albums, but these first two especially, are fantastic. I thought they had a drummer.
Yeah, man.
Like there's a lot of really good thought and dedicated time, because
Yeah, it's not easy to do that.
no, it's not, and less so with this one than the first one, but you can really hear the home recording influence in this band. Like, they're just making noises and having fun with it
Mhm.
and creating songs out of it, and I like that a lot.
Heck yeah, man. What about you, Jason?
So making people normal. I love the trade-off vocals. It's got a great message. I'm a Slut reminds me a little of Luscious Jackson. Man, his vocal delivery is superb, though. It's got a lot of range. Euro disco, high energy. This one was a little too much for me, though. A little too bad 80s dance music for my taste. And whenever you said it was like the biggest single, that makes me sad.
Video's great. Video's great. It's fun.
Action and drama. I love the name drop on 80s Madonna, and let's be honest, that's the best Madonna.
Bananarama as well, sir.
Yeah.
They get a name check as well.
I like the line, pop music's not going to die, it just has no direction. Especially in 1999, that was pretty relevant. Theme from Tokyo, really like this one, had a few strings, interesting percussion. I love her voice, both of them really. The chorus is really pretty. The Hit Girl, interesting vocal delivery. Am I loud enough? Really love the verses and the background harmonies on the chorus. Shopaholic, super fun one. I could easily see this song on the radio and being a big hit if it didn't have all the like cool, noisy instrumental things that they do. Young Alien Types.
Those are the things I like. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's me too. Young Alien Types. This one reminded me of Elastica. You guys remember Elastica?
That's an interesting call. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amanda likes Elastica, I think, pretty much. She's always repping them.
I mean, I can't knock them. I only know that one song they did, Connection or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good record. Man.
Yeah, I can't say I've heard that in 25 years.
Oh, dude, it's on my playlist.
They
man.
keep bringing back Lincoln Biscuit, but they won't bring back Elastica. What's up with these kids?
Justine, she's just not doing music now. She's doing art stuff, but not music stuff.
Wait, you know the name of the singer of Elastica?
Yeah, dude, she's awesome. That band is awesome. That record is awesome. I love that band. They're great.
Well, that kind of checks out.
Yeah, man.
If you haven't heard that song in 20 years, stick around at the end of this video, because that is now what's going to be played at the end of this video.
Yeah, nice.
I can't wait to hear it again and go, oh, that's what it was.
Connection.
Butter's a good song, too. Great band.
Detour. I like the country western opening, and Manda sounded great, but this one didn't do much for me. Same with Sailor Return, didn't do much for me. It's all new. I liked it. The album needed the energy at this point on the record. Listen Up, really like the closer. Great lyrics with I don't want to hear boys sing about girls in a way that makes them an enigma. It's just because they can't talk and say their feelings. No wonder we are stuck in the dark. It's poppy. It's bouncy. It could have been like a good summer song. I didn't hate the album, but I had a few as compared to the first one. So,
yeah. Listen Up, like that song was so important to me because I'd heard Bikini Kill and a lot of Riot Grrrl music by this point, and it was cool to me to hear a dude say, "I am a boy, but I'm a feminist." It's not a contradiction in terms. Like that meant the fucking world to me when I was 18. Like just super powerful song for me. Love that one. Great closer. I love action and drama as well. That was a single. Great video. My favorite line from that one is, "I like my idols human, not programmed in computers." That's so good, man. He's such a great lyricist. Him and Amanda, they both write.
That's
really
a little ahead of its time too, even.
Oh yeah, man. Nah, dude. Like that's, and the funny thing is that song is coming on right after Euro Disco, which was just such a,
sure.
like a club banger, you know what I mean? Like, just such an interesting band, dude. I love them. They're so good.
That's what makes me interested. The lyrics aren't like your typical, at least in the States, like radio pop, just bullshit. Like Biz's lyrics are actually really good a lot of the time. So, yeah.
Pop music's not going to die. It just has no direction.
It has no direction, yeah.
I just want some personality. give me action.
We'll
and
get
drama.
back to that the whole feminist Bikini Kill thing because they name drop fucking another band on I Love Biz. A band that I fucking love that's not even on Spotify because I looked them up when we were doing Bikini Kill. And I was like, oh man, I ain't heard this band in a long time. And I looked them up and they weren't on Spotify. I was like, what? And Biz name dropped them. And I was like, holy shit, I love this band now.
Which band is this?
It's a band called Huggy Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember Huggy Bear. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, Biz name dropped him on a song. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
We'll get into that one later, though.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything to say about Social?
I mean, it was a game changer for me personally. Just very much love the record. It's I like the sonics of it. I agree. Detour just doesn't do it for me. I don't know why, but everything else on this record I love so much, and it will literally play in my head from start to finish if I let it. You know, like I know it that well.
Which, I mean, that's like super interesting that like some kid from Alabama, Southern Alabama, found this band and became obsessed with them. It's just crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's
it was like, and I've tried like I've got some internet friends just because they knew who this band was, and like we became fans just because of that. You know.
And I've said it before, and I will say it again right here, right now. If you're in a band, record your stuff. Like, don't worry about if it's good or if you like it or if people like it or understand it or whatever. Just record it.
Yeah.
You never know what happens after that.
It's true.
It's so important.
Words of advice I should heed myself.
Just record. And then forget about it. You don't have to like it. But someone else might in 30, 40 years. You never know.
It's true.
That's true. One day you'll be watching this YouTube video and you'll stumble across some of Tim's old tapes. Be like, oh, I remember that guy. He was cool. Anyway,
I mean, they're out there. I could point you to every decade of my life on the internet.
This reminds me, I know we don't talk about artwork anymore, but just a shout out. So far, that one's the best. This has the most personality.
Yeah, and hand drawn by Manda, I must add.
Oh, really? That's
nice.
That makes it even cooler.
They all of their EPs that were kind of released on iHeartBiz all had that art style for the artwork, and it was just very much like manga influence, kind of cutesy, kawaii shit. And then
which was cool, like in
in the mid '90s. That was not
right.
as cool
Yeah, that was
that was like cutting
well
edge
ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And then this vector style stylization that wasn't super hip until like 2000.
Like 8, 9.
You can vectorize your user picture or whatever to have it this art style.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got any of that because I think my internet died, but
no, you kind of blanked out there. But
yeah,
I think
that
it was like 2008.
Didn't we all?
It's also Breath of the Kingdom, like Breath of the Wild, like
I feel like I'm
stylistic.
having a stroke.
You know? Going there, man, got to.
All right. Music for a Stranger World. EP. Tim did not do his homework on this one, right? This is a notable
I didn't do
release.
this homework. My syllabus got lost, so I had to rely on other sources, and this did not pop up. So,
Right.
So just a brief explanation of how we do this is we do the studio albums, but then down here we have this notable releases section. Whoever picked the band generally, we're like, hey, what notable releases should we be talking about? And these were Colquitt's 2 picks here for this band. So
I missed one, I should add, but we'll get there. They were featured on another cartoon that was only in the UK. I never saw it though, and but this is the record of music that they recorded for it. It's called Confidential Music for Animations. I forgot to bring it up. Sorry, but it's made for a cartoon. It's okay. I didn't enjoy it as much, I guess I should say, but it's not bad.
okay,
It's just very streamlined. But anyway, this EP, This was one of the ones that I definitely got at Warehouse Music on the day it came out, because by now the internet had led me to be able to find out when records were coming out at this point. And I saw this was coming out, and I was like, went there and I had it, and it was beautiful. And for me, this is like the expansion of what started with the last record with Social Dancing. Like, they definitely get more electronically influenced, and it's definitely more written in that space than on guitars, I assume. But I think the textures and just the songwriting in general on this is really good. Dead Wrestlers, literally one of my favorite songs of all time. Like, I know how to play it on guitar, and it's not a guitar song. Like, I wanted to be able to perform it, so I learned how to play it on guitar. Are You Ready? Just a classic pop jam. How Can We Be Strange is, I don't know, hits like almost Depeche Mode-y levels of like moodiness and stuff, and the acoustic guitar on it's really nice.
I feel that came later, so to hear it's coming this early in the discography is interesting.
Yeah, this was like when if you hadn't heard this and you'd only heard Social Dancing, Return to Central was going to be a big change of pace for you, for sure.
So this is not the same sessions. This is like a later
Separate
session
EP,
where they've
recorded after the fact. Yeah,
okay,
I think
cool.
they've added 3 or 4 more or 3 other bonus tracks to it and on streaming. But it's when I got it originally, it was these 6 songs. And Punk Rock Points is a great, funny song about how you shouldn't listen to somebody who tell you what punk is, but it's got this great disco beat and it's awesome. Like, I don't know. Beats of the Office.
People call Blondie punk.
Yeah, well, I do too. I do think Blondie's punk.
See, I call him disco. But
yeah, hey, it's all the same. It's all good, I guess.
Yeah,
Beats of the Office
exactly. Right.
cracks me up every time I hear it. It gets stuck in my head.
I don't like genres. I like artists.
Exactly.
That's very nice. I like that.
Yeah, no, that's 100%.
For sure. But yeah, I this was for me one of my favorite things they did. They've got there's also 2 other releases that aren't on streaming. One that came out after New Transistor Heroes called Nintendo, which was a bunch of B-sides from that. Had some really great songs.
Actually.
See, yeah, and that I had option to listen to. It was on my streaming service.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird. It's not on Spotify. It's so
well,
weird.
I don't listen to Spotify.
This EP wasn't on Spotify in the States either. They've got weird licensing issues with all their shit, so I don't know what's going on with that, or was the problem back
This
then.
is on Spotify.
This is on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a
no,
deluxe
but
version.
Nintendo wasn't.
No, Nintendo wasn't. No.
And then they also had another one called Plastique Nouveau, which was a counterpart to Return to Central, which we'll get to later. But yeah, they always had these weird extraneous tracks going around, and I was just happy they finally released like an EP of them instead of just like, you know, having them rumored about on the internet and only available on like some EP from Japan that you couldn't find unless, you know, you spend a lot of money to find it or something like that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
good.
kind of
I love it.
it's kind of funny. My kid, she's 13. She's obsessed with like British pop.
Yeah.
That's going around right now, and she gets vinyl because, you know, it's my kid, of course. She's always like trying to hunt this British vinyl, and it's like, it's interesting watching her. She found these artists on her own. She's obsessed with them. She's trying to find them.
That's awesome, though. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying.
No, it's beautiful.
Thing.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and that was Biz for me. I just couldn't afford some of the shit.
I wasn't that big of a fan of this EP, honestly.
That's fair.
Well, of course, because you guys are opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I had heard because I went to Spotify. There was like a deluxe version, and I was taking my notes on that before I looked at the sheet and been like, wait a minute. But anyway, so I heard DJ. I did not like that one. It was super monotonous. The music was a little grating by the end. Dead Wrestlers, though, was really good. It had a great melody. The vocals were like fucking stellar. Are You Ready? My notes say, well, that was interesting. How Can We Be Strange? It was okay. It was a little too simple compared to like what I had heard this band do before. I Want It All. I did like I Want It All. Beats at the Office. Okay, this one was pretty cool. Not gonna lie, it was very Devo-esque. And Punk Rock Points, I really like Punk Rock Points. Why Are We the Waiting? Way too long, over 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's a long one, and that's one of those songs where it's like, if you don't like kind of rave club like house music, you're not gonna like some of these songs. Yeah.
Once the vocals came in, it was fine, but like, and there was like some weird tempo change parts, but overall, it was like, I don't like techno at all. I hate fucking rave music. I hate it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, here we go then.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was still nothing that offended me. Like,
Yeah, no.
You know.
I mean, it's still really good. I remember there was a poll on their website where they were like, do you like us better when we're electro, or do you like us better when we're punk? And I think people voted punk mainly. So the next record, they were like, yeah, we're just gonna.
I mean, I'd have to agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of understand. I really do.
Yeah.
But yeah. I
And,
never.
and we'll get there, but if you want, we could talk about it now. Like, when they're punk, there's this element to their sound that is uniquely interesting.
That's fair.
Whereas, and again, we'll get to it, but when they go like full on EDM, it's missing something.
I disagree, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
How y'all gonna rank it? Social Dancing.
Me, it's not as good as the first record. There's a couple of that Euro disco thing I really did not like. So I want to say New Transistor Heroes is pretty flawless. It's like a top album to beat. Spoilers, it does get beat though.
Oh, I'm so curious. I really am.
Just not by
I think
social
I know what it
dancing.
is. I think I know what it is.
It
but
doesn't get
that's
beat
awesome.
by social dancing, so.
Well, I'm going to do it with Social Dancing.
I am too.
This has been my dilemma all day long. I've been kind of going back and forth, like which of these two were better. And I've landed on Social Dancing because I do feel the production is a little better and it's a little more focused.
It is more focused. I will give you that. It's definitely more focused.
Yeah, but I don't know if I necessarily like that as much because I do like the just unbridled energy of the first one.
That's the camp I'm sitting in.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
And so I've been going back and forth, and I think right now I'm saying, no, it's more polished.
Go with the chaos,
it is.
Tim. Go with the chaos.
We'll go with the chaos. I'm going to go with the chaos later, but we'll get there.
All right. This is going to be more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
I didn't want to just fall into the hashtag first album bias.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
2024. Tim's trying to break his
breaking streaks
first
like
album bias.
Brock Lesnar on The Undertaker, man. You got this, man.
Because this is a band where you could very easily take that hashtag.
Yeah, you could, honestly.
Yeah,
and I think that's a popular opinion for some people, actually. But
I can definitely see that. I could get a ticket to that train, window seat, complimentary drinks, the whole thing. But today, I'm gonna go with Social Dancing is better.
They re-released it a couple years back as a double disc set with a bunch of B-sides. This is available on streaming though, so if you want to investigate further, you should check it out.
Oh, that's the one I got. The streaming was 2 hours and 37 minutes.
It's a big double disc, but it has covers of Stray Cat Blues by the Rolling Stones, which is one of Amanda's best vocal takes ever because she's just dripping fucking bitter vinegar. Like it's so.
She
good.
got that moves like Jagger.
Yeah, good cover of Germ Free Adolescence by X-Ray Specs. Another great
Great
underrated
song.
band
Yeah.
from the old days. And just a bunch of cool little remixes if you're into that kind of thing. I sometimes want to listen to remixes because they're interesting, but sometimes I'm just like, why does this exist? But it is a thing.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, good shit.
Same way.
Same way. But then I find ones that I like, and so I'm like, okay, I'll continue to put up with it.
We'll get
Yeah.
into that when we get into Beck too. Beck does a lot of it.
Sure.
Oh,
Sure.
I didn't do any of the B-side stuff on this one because by the time I was done with the album, I was like, I wasn't really vibing with it.
This actually, Tim, has music for Stranger World on it, on the bonus disc.
Oh, okay.
All of the songs
Okay.
are in sequence on this as well. So kind of weird, but yeah.
Okay. So maybe I did then, and
Maybe you did.
Okay.
I did too, just separately.
Yeah.
I did not listen to the full deluxe edition. At some point, once I realized when I was like, no, I'm past the album, I did stop it.
Yeah. Once you hit a wall of remixes, you're like, okay.
Yeah. But I definitely listened to like some of it. So, and I can totally see like diving into it. Like, this is a really good album, and I'm sure like the deluxe edition is fantastic.
Got some good stuff. For sure.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I didn't necessarily listen to it all, but I will. Like, you know, I'm still invested in the band. I'm still like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna revisit this. This is good.
Hey, I'm just happy that I'm not the only one saying nice things. You know, that's a good thing for me. I appreciate that.
And we got 4 albums to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it's gonna go low next for a couple of you, but we'll get there. We'll get through it, guys. We'll get through it because there's great things on the other side too. You know.
So yeah, we'll be talking about Return to Central next. Give us a like, subscribe, help us get to 500 subscribers
By Arbor Day.
by Arbor Day. Yeah, anybody else got anything to add before we cut this one?
I mean, I'm trying to think of a witty lyrical thing to say, but I just got nothing.
Oh no, we're 100% using Elastica at the end of this one.
Okay.
A connection has been made.
Is made.